So with me, it's fine. So, and I have the pleasure to know some of you, but people who don't know me yet, my name is Lourdes Morales, and I work with Arlington Economic Development with the Biz Launch team, and our program focus on helping people who are going to start or expand their business through one-on-one consultations. We have different workshops, we have networking events. All of our program is free. We have two very cool programs right now, and I see Danielle Sanchez here, so hopefully you can benefit from it, Danielle. But we are developing websites for free for businesses based in Arlington, and we also have the other piece of the program that you can create your business plan or design your marketing strategy, or your financing piece, whatever need you have as a business owner, you can have access to 8 hours of consulting for free. And you just need to be based in Arlington and have a business license. It doesn't matter if you can just start the business, you can apply for that program. And I'm more than glad to send you the information if somebody's interested. But just to mention a few things that we are doing. In October, we'll have a big event, like networking event, that we will be highlighting Hispanic entrepreneurs because it's Hispanic Heritage Month. So we're expecting to have more than 100 people and, hear from 3 successful Hispanic entrepreneurs who are in Arlington, and, listening a little bit more about the challenges that they face, and especially how they got where they are right now. So we have very exciting programs during the year, and you can, sign up for our e-newsletters and you get all that information. And again, all that we do is for free. So hopefully I will see some of your faces later. With that said, let me see, because, so first thing that I want for you to remember tonight is that you're not alone. Everybody, when they are starting a business, they think they're by themselves. I just have this idea and nobody will understand me. You are not alone. The good news is that there are different people and organizations that want to support you and will be there for you. So to mention just a few, that we work very close with them. Latino Economic Development Center is a nonprofit based in DC, but they have presence in Maryland and Virginia, and they support people like you. Even if you just have an idea or you have already a business and want to expand, they provide the one-on-one counseling, they provide financing, especially when you are starting. A lot of people are like, Lourdes, I have this bright idea, but how do I get money? I don't have credit. I have never had credit before. So there are organizations like LEC, it's a nonprofit. So, they won't be charging thousands of dollars to help you. And I like to mention them because down the road, you will need those organizations to help you. SCORE, there are people who have retired and want to give back to the community, and they do it for free. Women's Business Center in Springfield, George Mason, they have for micro research, a lot of resources, or the Arlington Credit Union has been very involved with us in helping people who didn't have credit or need money for their business. So please keep that in mind. So a lot of you, in terms of timing, I didn't get to hear from each of you what idea you have, or if you already have a business, but I'm assuming all of you, if you are here today, is because you already have an idea, there is something there that you want to explore, or you are already doing and you want to introduce a new product. So if you already have that idea, what to do next? And this is, we call it our golden list, because it doesn't mean that you need to do each of these in order to be successful, but the likelihood that you will be successful if you follow like this path is very high. So first, planning. You need to plan that business. And then, and I will describe each of these later in the presentations, but then after you plan and you know how much money will you need for that business, then you will say, hey, do I need to finance this business or not? And we'll answer that questions then. So now I have plan, I have the money to start the business, but what business entity do I need to be? Do I need to be an LLC? Do I need to be a corporation? And if some people don't have a social security number, there is legal entity, the limited liability company, that people can obtain without anybody else. So this is a common question that I get. And then you need to know about the federal requirements. So the requirements in terms of what you need to meet in order to open that business is divided by federal, state, and local. And then there are some certifications that I hear that people from the beginning are concerned, and that's why I'm going to mention those. But usually it's after 2 years that you open that business that you will apply for these certifications, but I will touch on that. And then you say, hey, Lourdes, I'm ready. I just need to execute. So those are like the topics that we'll be discussing today. One of the first steps that I will recommend is write down everything that you have in mind. Because a lot of people come, even if you have different ideas or it's just in a very early stage, it's so convenient that you write all your ideas and how much money will you have, which products are you going to do, who is going to buy your product. You need to put that in paper, and you will see why later. And based on that, you need to create a action plan with milestones. Okay, by when are you going to do that? If I want to open my business in January 2023, what things I need to do in order to open that business? If I know I need $50,000 by January 2023, what am I going to do? Okay, I need to write a business plan because I'm going to talk with a bank, with a credit union, or a nonprofit. When are you going to talk to them? By the end of September. So you need to put things in writing and have a deadline for each thing that you need to accomplish in order to accomplish them. Otherwise, everything is in ideas and you can execute, but the likelihood that you will be successful will be very low. And you need to educate yourself, you need to, because a lot of the clients that we see, and I have been doing this for 15 years plus now, a lot of people they know what they are doing, they are very successful. They have run businesses in their own country. They know exactly how to do it, when to do it, but it's very different when you do it here, or also if you are changing the line of businesses that you are doing. I will also recommend to find a mentor, because a lot of times, if you have a mentor, people will be, to me, it's like guiding you, you are the subject matter experts and you know what you want, each of you. So, you have the information, but with a mentor, you are navigating the system. You are hearing different opinions, based on their experience, So it's always good to have a mentor and also have some advisors and look for assistance when you need it. Because sometimes a lot of people come to us, they have signed, lease agreements already, or they didn't have enough money to do it, but they did it anyway. But they didn't ask for any assistance. And at that time, it's hard for us to help them because, if you already signed a lease, you are liable for it. But if you come before, we can, give you advice on how things look like. Planning is fundamental, and you will hear that I say this several times. And the reason why is because we don't want for you to waste your time or your money. A lot of times people that we work with have been saving their entire life for this business. But if there is a lack of planning, the probabilities of losing all that money is very high. So you want to make sure you do your plan. So it's, a lot of people ask us, do I need a business plan? And our answer will be yes. And you will need to do your market research, business intelligence, marketing, social media, sales, and financial, and all of these will be included in your business plan. So a lot of people get intimidated about, like, Lourdes, I haven't done a business plan, never in my life. Of course, there are people who come to us with a final business plan and they have done a lot of them, and that's fine. But if you haven't done one, it's important that you think that that business plan is feasible, that it's not just a dream, but you can obtain what you want. You want as much detail as possible, because later that plan will help you to navigate whatever you need to do. You will need to evaluate the competition, because you need to know not to copy what they are doing, but exactly what will differentiate you. And I will talk a little bit about that in the marketing piece. uh, some plans can be 20 plus pages, but it really doesn't matter at the end of the day how many pages, in my opinion, as long as you have the information, depending who that business plan is written by, because it can be for you as an entrepreneur, can be if you're going to ask for financing to the bank, credit union, or whoever you're going to ask, or it can be um, an investor, somebody want to invest in your business and they want to know more, like how are you going to give that money back to them, or how do you guarantee that they need to invest in your business? And why is important? Because you will take an assumption of the market and minimizes the risk of execute. Because you are not just saying, I think everybody likes my product that I'm going to do. If I design clothes, everybody will like the blouses that I like. It probably is not the case. Not everybody needs that, or not everybody will like that, or not everybody will pay that price if I'm not talking to the right target market. So you need to, the risk will be reduced if you work on this business plan. And you will need to work on your financials and also your marketing plan. With that, yes.
I just want to add, for the people who are not familiar with the business plan, so have never, seen one, we have partners that help them go step by step to create the business plan, specifically for the industry, that the business is located on. So, just putting that out there. We also have some samples that people can look at so they are familiar with it and they can see what kind of information it's in one. Yeah, just wanted to put that one out there.
Thank you, Yakin. Yeah, that's important, and as I mentioned in the beginning, you are not alone. I'm talking a lot right now, a lot, about a little bit of everything, but for each of these points, there are resources out there, as Yakin just pointed. And, something that to me, in terms of marketing and social media and other tools that you can use for your business, something that for me is like super essential is that you differentiate yourself. What makes you different? If you want to start that product or that service, but if you just say, it's one more, if I want to, sell food, but what makes you different? Why I'm going to buy that product from you and not from somebody else that I'm going to buy it since, 20 years ago or 5 years ago. So that, to me, just having that answer, it can be something different on your product. It doesn't need to be unique, because if you tell me, there is that product is not in the market yet, I will question that, why nobody have done it. If now people go to the space, like there's almost everything in the market, and if somebody haven't done it, my question will be why. So I'm not talking about creating something super unique and different, but what I'm talking is whatever you're going to do, make sure you have something to differentiate yourself. Somebody who came to us and wanted to start another nail salon in a road of nail salons, how she differentiated herself, that to me was super smart, is that she defined very clear who her target market was. And she wanted to have working moms, like Tirasol, myself, who were working during the day. So probably, we have some time to go and do our nails after the kids are in bed. So they focus on opening later in the day, not when everybody was going. The other salons were open, so they focus at the end of the day, they target this specific target market. That didn't mean that other people won't go, but very likely they will be open later than the other salons, but they were promoting themselves with the right target audience. And then, they, in days like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, they offer some drinks. So, I'm just mentioning that as a differentiator, or somebody who cleans houses who wanted to focus just on people who live by themselves, or, a couple, older couple, but she will prepare breakfast for them. So people love that. I mean, and that was the target that she was looking for. So it really depends on your target, and but there are always ways to differentiate yourself. And I'm more than happy to go deeper on that, when you are developing your business plan. But from day one, I want for you to think whatever I'm thinking or planning to do, I need to differentiate myself. What is going to make me different? And with that, the chances of success are higher. And also, please keep in mind now, because a lot of people, when they're developing their business plan, there are different marketing tools available, and a lot of people think they need a lot of money to, promote their business. And nowadays, there are different tools that you can use. You just need to know how to use it. But you have social media like LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You can use that. And we always get the question, do I pay for that or I can do it for free? And I will say, we do it in combination, but a lot of times we do it for free, everything that it's free, but we need to have like an integrated marketing plan. What I mean by that, you need to be consistent. You need to have a plan. If I'm going to post something, I need to have a calendar when I'm going to post. On Mondays, I will post, if it's about food, I will post on Monday, I will post a recipe. On Wednesday, I'm going to talk about the freshest ingredients during the summertime. On Friday, I'm going to talk about how to, a healthy tip. So it doesn't need to be selling all the time. You just need to be strategic on how you are going to use those tools. And I mentioned it in my last point here. And the key, if you're going to use even social media or traditional advertising, like you can use flyers, you can use signs. We actually went back with Yakin during the pandemic, in order to promote our services. We even put like the signs that politicians use. I don't know if you saw some here in Arlington, but we have like, for the grant program, when we were giving grants, we put signs on the street. We gave flyers. We use newspapers. We use newspapers at churches. So we really use traditional advertising that now that people say, nobody uses those methods. Depending on the time and where your audience is, you might need those and still work. And we use the radio as well, Radio El Sol, to promote these grants. So you also need, but with any of the whatever I mentioned before, you need to make sure is that you understand how to reach your target market and where are they, what they need. Something interesting for us at the office is that we have the program in English and Spanish, and the social media that we use for both programs, it's under one umbrella, but how people react to different media is different. For people who speak Spanish, at least for the program that we have, Facebook is more effective than using Instagram or TikTok. And and I'm not saying that we don't use those tools, because we use them, but we focus our efforts in Facebook. And if I want to decide to pay for an ad that we have done before, I will pay it in Facebook instead of paying it in TikTok. So just to mention some examples. So Yakin, do you want to talk a little bit more about the recommendations for social media?
Sure, yeah. So for social media, as well, would just say you can use different platforms that are free for pretty much any user can have, either Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and other platforms like that. So just make sure that you leverage the video whenever possible. Just make sure that they know whichever content you're putting out there is good quality, that is attractive. As one of my coworkers says, make sure it's juicy and it's sexy and it's attracting, it's catching the eye of your target market. With that goes creating the relatable content. So the more attractive it is, the more the people are going to interact with your content. So use a conversational tone. Don't be very, when you're starting, a lot of people are very corporate, but sometimes nowadays, even more after the pandemic, people became more casual with conducting business. So I'll make sure you are using a very conversational tone in a way that um it will motivate your viewers to interact with the post you are doing. Also use design elements for appealing content. I know a lot of people use what's it called, PowerPoint, but another great platform and it's free is Canva. So we made some tutorials on how to use all of these platforms for people that lack the knowledge and skills of how to navigate through them. We have many of our clients, they have used technology for the first time. When I say technology, I mean either a website or Facebook or Canva or any of those platforms when COVID happened. So that's when they started using online sites more often. Also the quality of quantity, it doesn't matter how many posts or how many content you put out there, as long as it is good. So let's say you were doing 3 or 4 posts a day, but it is not relating with your target market, then it doesn't matter because you're not attracting the eye of the viewers. So quality of a quantity, it doesn't matter if it's less, as long as the quality of the content is good, it will help you more than just putting 10 posts, but it doesn't really help you as much. So yeah, all of this resources are free. Everyone is familiar with the social media platforms. Everyone is using it either to speak with the family in another countries or just posting vacation pictures. The same way it can be used for your business. And I know a lot of people are using TikTok nowadays. So a 20-second, 30-second TikTok promoting your business, promoting the food or products that you are using, it's very beneficial. We have one of our clients that went viral on TikTok. She received over 600,000 views. And then she's located Pentagon City Mall. And now she's been getting customers from Maryland, from West Virginia, from
Yeah.
a different type of states just because they watch that specific TikTok video about her. So yeah, just make sure you take advantage of all of this.
Thank you, Yakin. And just it's good that Yakin just brought that example, because we always love to see use examples that people that we have worked with. And this lady, we started to work with her during the pandemic. She didn't have any social media presence at all. She didn't have a website. Through a program that we created at the beginning, she created the website. Yakin, with his tutorials, taught her how to use like Facebook and Twitter and TikTok. But she did it. Like it of course it took time. She posted continually. She has products that are very visual, so she kept posting and posting. But then one of her clients is the one who put her viral. So just keep that in mind. A lot of people start from zero, and I see that here Sol has her hands up.
Yes. I have a question, just because I was, thinking about like when someone comes to you and they, like, if they're undocumented, what do they need to know about like starting their own the letter B business? It gets me every time. Like if you have any stuff to point them on how to secure an ITIN number or
That's in the requirements, and I'm getting there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. I will get there. I know that I have very like 15 minutes left, and let me know if I'm or if it's my time. But I'm going to mention that the reason why I'm talking all of this, because in order to be successful, you need to plan. And if you have, I can tell you about, and I will, about license and permits that you need, but that's based on our experience. It's important and you need to know. But if you don't have all what I'm talking before later, a lot of people have business licenses. A lot of people have everything that they need, But if they don't have a plan in place, they have one client, two clients. So if I need to support my family with one or two clients, I won't be successful. So that's why I want to make sure, this part for me is essential, the planning, because, in order to be successful, and I'm going to get there in a minute, you need to think all of this. So please do not sweat the small stuff, because a lot of people, start like thinking, I don't know, Lourdes mentioned all of this, but I haven't used any of that. And I don't know how to do a business plan. And that's why the resources are available. And just please focus on your successful business and you will get there. And keep in mind, there are free resources. And, in terms of market research, Yakin, I think at this point, because the time, just give a brief overview.
Yeah, sure. So on market research and business intelligence, we have new databases that we recently acquired. So we have three, which is the IB's World, Statista, and Demographics, Demographics Now, sorry. So you can use all of these databases to compare your business with the market and your competitors. You can also distinguish your business and see how much money people are spending in your industry, and you can accommodate your business plan according to your research. We also have the CoStar reports via BizLaunch. If you're looking for a place, for example, you can just like let us know. Oh, I'm looking for like 900 square foot in this area, Columbia Pike or Clarendon, and then we help you. We recommend you some sites where you can search for places where you can open your business. Also, the George Mason School Public library policy, they have a small business program, I believe, that they be able to help you if you have any questions, if you need any resources. They're also there to help the small business community. And then we also offer networking opportunities. We offer doing brunch and business events. You can network with other organizations around the area, with other businesses as well, just like yourself. I mean, business owners just like yourself, or people that are just interested in being entrepreneurs. So you can do that as well. And just Arlington economic development, it's good to know people that work with other business owners like yourselves, or people who are interested to open the business as well, to know them, and and get in contact so you can network in the future when you once you put your ideas on paper and you're ready to execute. So that's the brief explanation.
Thank you, Yakin. Yeah, but just keep in mind that there are different databases and information that is available to create that business plan, to see if your idea is feasible, whatever information you're looking. And also, networking events, it's always important, because, you can learn from other people like you and how they did their business. Not, you won't be competition with them probably, but a lot of people in these events have become partners or have shared resources. So thank you, Yakin, for that. As I mentioned before, there are SCORE mentors, and these are helpful links if, that we have mentioned before, of sample of business plan and all of that we have. So then the next question will be, okay, Lourdes, I have an excellent plan. I know how I'm going to differentiate myself. I know how I'm going to let people know that I exist, but then I need money, for this business. Hopefully with that business plan that we just talked, that you got to know you need, it depends, because people ask me how much money do I need? It depends on the business that you're going to have, depends on the industry, the size, where it's going to be located, who your clients are. So because based on who your clients are is where you are going to locate your business and how big you want your business. So there are different factors to consider. But then it becomes like, do I finance or not finance? And we will say yes, let's do financing. And the reason why we say that is because, how we see you is that business to expand. So even if you have the money to start the business, what about if a big contract comes? I was working with somebody in cleaning, actually. started a cleaning company, but he was doing residential, but then somebody else connected him with a contact that it was a perfect contact for him. Anyway, he needed to start a contract and hire people and buy all this equipment, but they gave him they didn't give him, half a year to start that. They say, we want for you to start on this date. And then he's like, Lourdes, I need to start like $30,000 by Friday. But if you haven't had any financing, where are you going to get that money from? So it's so important from the beginning that you think that you will need to get some type of financing, even if you don't have like a social security number, if you just have an employer identification number, EIN, or with your ITIN, start like with your credit. There are different tools for credit building. And I'm not saying get in debt, get a $10,000 debt with a bank or a financial institution and then spend it. No, you can start small, but it's so important for you to get that credit going from the very beginning, because a lot of people, and probably you have seen it with friends and family, those businesses expand. The opportunity comes to you, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's planned and sometimes it just comes through. Or now you can rent another business. Or we were talking actually with Yakin this morning. We went to visit one of our clients on Columbia Pike. She have owned a restaurant, but then during the pandemic, somebody else just offered another restaurant, and she needed to get it because it was a good opportunity to her. But she had the financing in place to say, hey, this is a great opportunity. They were very generous with the offer, and she took it. So you never know when that opportunity will come. So please think about financing. There are different types, because a lot of people ask us, Lourdes, what are the type of, how do I get the money? Traditional financing, like you will go to the bank. Some of you, if you already have credit, you can go to Bank of America, Wells Fargo, any of that credit unions, and just get a line of credit for your business. That's one. SBA lending. A lot of people hear the SBA, the Small Business Administration, but they won't give you money like this. They will work through financial institutions to give you the money. Right now with the pandemic, you heard that, they have some money set aside for restaurants, but they did it through banks and nonprofit organizations. You can also ask for family and friends. Believe it or not, this is a big source of funding for a lot of our clients. And then crowdfunding, right now it has not been as, as for some time, it was a lot of like Kiva Zip, where a lot of people say, you create your network and people start investing in your money, in your business. And something that is not here is the oldest nonprofit organizations. I talk about them in this slide, like the Latino Economic Development Center, WAKIF in DC, or Enterprise Development Group, EDC, who are based here in Arlington. And even if you haven't had any credit, or if you have credit and you go to a bank and say, hey, I want, $50,000 because I need to open this business, the likelihood that the bank will give you money if you are a startup is very low. So there are these organizations that are nonprofits. I'm not promoting them, they are partners, but we don't work, with them directly. But we have seen how they have been able to help different clients to get the money that they need, because they can help you to start with the credit, or they know that this is the mission, help people to start their business with financing. And so now let's say you have your business plan, you got the $100,000 that you needed. So now what do I need next? And here is what Hirasol was asking. So, you have all the elements in place, but now you need to know about regulations. So there are different types of business structures, some of you might have heard about them. So proprietorship, general partnership, if you will have different partners, LLC, corporation S and C. We always recommend to talk with either an attorney or an accountant to learn more about which of these is more convenient for your business. because it really depends on how you want to, what type of business do you want to have, and how are you going to report the your taxes. But something to keep in mind, why it's important to have a legal entity. You know, a lot of people, if I'm Lourdes and I will start a consulting company, I don't need to go and register my company with Virginia State Corporation Commission. I can just start my business like Lourdes Morales Consulting, and I go to Arlington County, I get a business license. But what happened as a sole proprietorship is that you and your business are the same. So there is not, you know, you are not protected. Your personal assets are not protected, because if something happened to your company and somebody, you know, sues you for X, Y, and Z, they will go through your personal, all your personal belongings, because you don't have that separation. But if you have an LC, a corporation S, a corporation C, the business and the person are not the same. So your personal items are not liable for something that have happened to your company. So that's something why it's important to have a legal entity. Something that a lot of the questions that we get, like we see a lot of clients, in order to work with us, we don't need to ask legal status of anybody. But however, we know that a lot of our clients who don't have a social security number, they have been able to open a limited liability company, an LC. It's easy to form. You can do it with your ITIN number. You can do it online. And you don't need anybody else to be involved in your company in order to have your limited liability company. And it's completely legal to do it that way. So I just want to emphasize that in terms of that legal entity. And so I mentioned at the beginning, there are federal, state, and local. What I just mentioned with what legal entity you need to have, that's at the state level. At the federal level, you need to have an employer identification number. Like I have my, you know, even if you have your social security number, your ITIN number, your company will have an employer identification number. And then if the name of the company is important for you, because a lot of clients, you know, if they want to be at the national level, you need to register your trademark. So that's at the federal level as well. And then at the state level, I mentioned at the very beginning, the different legal entities that you will have, but let's say you chose to have an LC, you need to register that company with the State Corporation Commission. And then there are different industries that will be regulated at the state level. To give you a few examples, if you work on construction, that will be regulated at the state level. There are license A, B, and C for construction. You will need to pass the test with the Virginia Department of Professional and Occupational Regulation. People who does nails, that will be regulated, but we call it DPOR, that is the Department of Professional and Occupational Regulation. You are going to take care of kids, that will be regulated at the state level. If I'm going to do cleaning, that's just at the local level. But again, the Virginia Department, you will see in the second bullet that I have in this slide, the Virginia Department of Professional Occupational Regulation have listed all the industries that are regulated at the state level. And then it's you will have to have a workers' compensation for if you are going to have an employees. If you are going to sell alcohol, you will be regulated by ABCs, the Virginia ABC in this case. And we just put some screenshots. So because everything is online and there are the hyperlinks at the bottom of the presentation, but something else is your trade name. I mentioned before the trademark is at the federal level. Trademark is like the brand that you're going to have. If I want my brand to be nationwide, I need a trademark. But if for me it's important, but I can call it Lourdes Consulting just here in Virginia, I will need to have a trade name, and that will be with the State Corporation Commission. So we are clear. We got first the federal requirements have an employer identification number. At the state level, you register. In terms of this example, I will say I will have an LLC, a limited liability company that will be to the State Corporation Commission, and I will do construction. So I will be regulated at the state level by DPOR, and I will also register my trade name with the State Corporation Commission. So that's state, federal, state. And then I'm here in Arlington. So Arlington is going to regulate my business as well. So at the local level, if you're going to have a physical location, you will have, you will need to have a permit from zoning, because you will either have, it's called certificate of occupancy. You know, you are going to rent a place, you want to start a restaurant, you want to sell clothes, you will need to repair shoes. You have to have a physical location, so you will need to have a certificate of occupancy from zoning. And then you will need to have, you say, hey Lourdes, I'm just going to do construction and I don't need an office because I go to visit my clients into the different houses that they have. So I don't need an office. You don't need an office, so you can operate from home, but you will need to have a home occupancy permit. And that's given from the zoning office as well. Arlington also will require that you have a business license, and it's not a test that you need to take or anything like that. It's simply you need to go and pay taxes at the local level, in this case with Arlington. And Arlington also will tax business tangibles. If I have a computer here, I work from home, so all that I have is my computer and I have a printer, and that's all that I need. But if I do construction, very likely I will have my car and something else. So they will tax for, you will need to pay a tax for every business tangible that your business own. And a commissioner of revenue can give you more an estimate of how much it will be. But just if you are just starting your business and you know, if it's just $10,000 that you made a year, you don't need to pay anything in terms of business license. If it's 10,000 to 50,000, you will need to pay $30, 50,000 to 100,000. You will need to pay $50 and 100,000 and up, depending on the industry. You will need, you know, they will let you know how much tax you will pay at the local level, but just to let you know. And then if you're going to have a food business, a food truck, or, you know, anything related with food, very likely Department of Health, it's going to be regulated your business. And, you know, everything, I put this because, you know, everything is available online, but the county also opens in person if you need to. Something else is that I put here, it's the code consultation. If you're going to have a physical location, we highly recommend to do a code consultation. And what that means is before you open and submit your final plans, you want to make sure you are meeting all the requirements that need to be in place before opening that restaurant, for example. So you can submit that, is completely free. Commissioner of Revenue, as I mentioned before, they are the ones who will give you the business license for the county, and you need to pay your business tax tangibles with them. And the health department very likely will be involved if you're going to open any food establishment, even if it's a food truck. And then, so that was in terms of the requirements. I just wanted to mention very briefly the certifications, and I know I'm getting into a few minutes more of the time, but I just wanted to say there are federal and state certifications as well. Our recommendation is not to worry at the beginning, because very likely they will ask you to have at least 2 years of experience in the area that you are going to apply for. But just keep in mind, there are different certifications at the federal and state level that might be useful later. Here in Virginia, it's called SWAM at the state level, Small Women and Minority. And this is the entity who will give you that certification. And what that means is that I do construction, and there is this company, I mean, I'm just using an example, you know, say 5% of whatever you do, you need to give it to a small and minority business. And that's a requirement. How I'm going to prove that I'm a small and minority business is because I have the SWAM certification, the Small Women and Minority. And I will need to go through that certification through this entity that it's called Virginia Small Business and Supplier Diversity. But again, usually for that, you will need to have a proven record at least for 2 years. So, but I just wanted to mention that so you have, you know, and we have a contact for that organization. So, and they can have it. A few recommendations just to close up, and Hirasol, please let me know if I need to cut it here, but I would love just to go really quick to my final recommendations, but it's hire an excellent banker, lawyer, and CPA. You want to have a lawyer or an attorney from the very beginning, because you know you will need to sign a lease agreement. You will need to have an agreement between you and your clients. You never know when that legal assistance might be required, and you need to have that relationship with this attorney, not until the moment that you need it, because people call me, Lourdes, I need an attorney, you know, this happened to one of my clients and I need it for this afternoon. And just having somebody very likely is going to be more expensive because it's like an urgent matter, but also you don't have the relationship with those professionals. So it's always good to have those people in, especially if you're going to sign a lease agreement, don't do it without an attorney. You know, you will need to have an excellent CPA because you don't want to mess up with taxes. You know, I have a very good understanding how taxes work here in Virginia, but I'm not, you know, I'm not a CPA and I'm not an accountant. But you know, they can even not charge that much if you have like the files in place and you just ask for their, you know, to file your taxes and meet with them every 3 months and you have everything in place as they want, but it's always to have the right person in place. And then excellent banker, because again, you want to know what options are and not who will get them, you know, more commission. You know, but some people get like 10 credit cards and then they're paying this and that, but they are not actually building credit. So please make sure you have these 3 people as part of your team, even if you don't think you need them. So just to recap what all that Lourdes said and all these minutes. So this is my beautiful team. And we want to say, you know, just please plan. The chances are that if you plan and you write your ideas and you grab that information, the chances of success will be higher. Please understand the regulatory process of your industry, because it's not the same if I do construction that I want to open a restaurant, or I want to take care of kids, or if I want to cook from home. For each case is different. So please understand what's the process for that. Ask for help, you know, you are not alone. There are different organizations. I mentioned a few at the beginning. So ask for help. Do not isolate yourself, you know, because sometimes, a lot of times, you know, it's very isolated, you know, like I'm an entrepreneur, I have this idea, I have my business and I'm just here, but actually there are a lot of people who want to help you. Network with influencers within your industry, people who will know and guide you. Find a mentor. Feel proud of yourself. You know, a lot of the clients that we know, they know how to run that business. They know that industry, you know, they have been doing this for 10, 20 years and they have been doing successful. I feel proud of what you know and how you do it. Take advantage of the social media tools that there are. Keep great records, you know, everything, especially in terms of accounting, whatever you buy for the business, whatever comes in from the business, keep good with records. And please watch for predators. We get a lot of our clients get scammed. A lot of people try to get advantage of them because you don't know. And you know, you're starting your business, you need to implement this software, you need to do this. Probably you don't need it. People are just taking advantage. So in anything that you do, even to hire your attorney, to hire your accountant, whatever service that you are going to hire, make sure you ask for 3 different opinions or 3 different quotes, you know, because that will make sense. If Analia is telling me that I need this, but then Yakin says a completely different thing, but then Hirasol says, no, you know, I use something very different what Analia uses. To me, that makes more sense than just spending the $10,000 because somebody wanted to sell that. And, you know, and visit us. Our Biz Launch team will be happy to help. And with that, I'm finishing my presentation. So our website is bizlaunch.org. This is our phone number and our email address. So thank you for listening. And, you know, I know it's a lot of information. I have done this presentation, you know, as long as 2 hours or 20 minutes, depending, but usually this is a process, and that's, I promise here, so this is my last tip. But just keep in mind that this is a process. This is not a one-time thing, you know. You will develop that idea, and the more information that you have, the better decisions that you will make at the end. So please feel free to reach out to us. We work with different partners and we have different events, and we'll love to see you there. So thank you for the opportunity for Yakin and myself to be here with you tonight.
Yeah, like first off, just why not? Thank you so much. I can't believe you even were able to do that much information in this amount of time, and we have extended the amount of time for this Zoom call. If anybody needs to hop off, you're free to do that. I'm so glad that we are recording this because you had so many incredible links for this information. So now we're going to start passing it off to our other panelists. If you have any experience with similar things that like Biz Launch just talked about, it'd be a great way to, you know, to mention that. And if you have any experience with those things directly. Daniel, oh, there is a question. Any chance we can get a link with the recorded information in our email? That is a fantastic question. And I shall leave that to one of my fellow host buddies from behind the scenes to give me an answer for that, but I think it's very likely. Daniel, do you want to share your experience?
Yeah, I was going to emphasize in 2 things. First of all, the Biz Launch website has every single answer you can think of. So it's just, you gotta, I mean, I know it's a lot of options there, and navigate it might be a bit too much every now and then, but it has literally every information you need to start a business. I mean, I started with Lourdes, so I have the experience too, and they helped me a lot too. One of the things I will prioritize before, while you're researching your business, is creating the network. And I think you talked about Lourdes before, looking to for people in the business in your area. Not only create a business partner, but a friendship that they can go in, because that way you avoid getting scammed by all these, you know, messages and websites that you need this, you need a subscription, you need a system. They'll let you know what you need and what you don't need. Very early on, I was talking to different CEOs of different graphic companies and things like that, marketing companies, and it's hard to get them. I understand it's very hard to get them, and depending on your field, it's hard to get a hold of them even, or you know, it's hard to catch their interest in you. So I understand, but this is why BizLaunch is here, and I know BizLaunch has a good network of people and businesses that they can help you out with. Even the Dream Project themselves, they have networks, and I was very privileged to use those and just expand and get to know how my business is going to succeed before I even start or start investing in it. Because again, I don't want to just throw money out there just to hope it works. I have to know that it works. But before that, I mean, again, you have to try. You have to know if you're going to be able to have clients. You're going to be able to provide the system, the service that you promise to serve the right way. And sometimes that comes with a little bit of investment. So having these financial tools, you know, doing all the certificates allows you to have all this financial help that otherwise you wouldn't get anywhere else. So that's one of the things that I wanted to emphasize. And one more thing, which is quality control. Every 6 months or once a year, I go back to my room and just think about, okay, what can I do better? and how can I control the quality content that I'm providing on social media to show people that I am professional and not just a person just, with a camera, which I'm into marketing, so I want to be able to push that around. But also with clients, how do I get more clients? Is there a new way to get clients? Do I have to call them? Do I have to go to the door? Depending on the business that you're into it, there are different ways to do it. And don't be limited. And some of them, again, will be more, will work better than others. But even if some of them don't work as much, you might want to get them because, again, more clients your way is better, by just emphasizing the ones that work. But again, I just go back again to the same idea. What can I do better? What is there different to do? It might be just be a scheduling problem, or it might be just be you being consistent. I understand that was one of my first problems. I wasn't consistent with getting clients at the beginning. But you have to remind yourself every 6 months, every 2 months, okay, what do I need to do? Is there something new to do? Because you don't want your business to stay in just one level. You want it to grow. And again, the team of Biz Launch also help you do that. And they, you go back and forth with it. They'll become like a family eventually, that you go back and talk to. So it's good to have someone to hold you accountable and give you information and give you the resources for you to succeed, because that's the goal at the end of the day.
Yes, and like a question I have for you and our parents, Analia and Victor, and my parents are also in here somewhere. I can't find what their name is. Pero papi y mami, si quieren prender su webcam para que le podemos ver, so that they can see you. I want to ask, what propelled you to start your business? There they are, mommy.
Hello.
I'm trying to see how long it'll take Carmelo to hear you. Oh, he perked out. Hey, Melo.
Hello, everybody.
Like what propelled you to take this step to begin your business, and what were the first crucial steps in the first year that really made you feel like this is something I can keep going in? Yes, that's my question for now.
I guess first of all, for me, I've been undocumented 21 years. I say I want to get a job, but I can't apply for any jobs without Social Security. And it was a really hard travel. And then I say I had to do something I really enjoy it and make money. And it really, I really like to have the house neat and every organized. And I'm trying to do in the less time I can do. So I say, I have some kind of ability to do cleanings. And I say, okay, I will try to do cleanings. And I talked to a friend, and I know that her place was so disorganized. And I say, can I help you? And I say, oh yes. And I try to do cleaning with her. And then I know that it was fun. And then I say, I have to investigate a little bit about how the cleaning works in the area, how much I can get by hour, and all this stuff. And yes, but I focus in faith. First of all, I say, please, I have a faith on God, and I say, God, helping me how to do that. Asking His direction, to find the right way to get money and to get job. And He opens door for me, so many doors. Basically, mostly on my client, and actually are more how I can say cadena, it's friends, by family, and I'm involved in a few families.
Word of mouth. Yeah. In English, it's como, yeah, you want to talk to, it's in cadena is word of mouth through personal connections. And that's something when we met with Analia at your house, we talked about the importance of networking and creating close ties.
So that's basically for my experience. And it's really for me, I have fun cleaning. My husband, he doesn't like. but he helping me like to do all the chores, you know, but I have fun cleaning. I like it. But of course, I have a different talent. I want to develop later. But for the meantime, I have to do this.
Gracias, Mami.
You're welcome.
Okay, Carmelo's going to share his business tips once our panelists are done. Victor and Analia, can you share how you began in your business? I know that you guys also do housekeeping, but it's on a commercial, the more commercial side instead of at home. Sorry.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas noches a todos y cada uno de ustedes.
Buenas noches.
Voy a hablar en español porque mi inglés no es muy bueno. Pero bueno, aquí estamos. Mi nombre es Víctor Alderete, soy de Bolivia, arquitecto de profesión y limpiador de baños por opción. Hace ya 21 años también que hemos llegado a este país con mi señora y traté de incursionar en el tema de la construcción, casualmente por lo que es mi profesión, pero quizás a ustedes como hijos que tienen ahora que sus papás que también han sido inmigrantes, uno ha tenido que tomar muchas veces una decisión. Mi decisión fue en ese momento que tenía que pagar la renta, que tenía que proporcionar los alimentos para mi familia. Entonces, construcción es un bonito y buen negocio, trabajo, te da dinero, pero en ese momento lo que yo veía era de que construcción solamente era en verano. Lo que yo conversaba con mis amigos u otras personas era que en invierno el trabajo venía para abajo, no era muy bueno. Quizás para el trabajador, pero para el dueño de una compañía era productivo. Entonces, por ese motivo fue que incursioné, porque yo llegué al mediodía a este país, a Virginia, y a las 4 de la tarde ya estaba trabajando. Estaba trabajando en limpieza en el Government Center de Fairfax. Y ahí estuve, y de ahí fue donde se me fue haciendo las personas con que yo trabajaba, que eran mis jefes, digamos, eran unos vietnamitas. Eso quiero decir que, gracias a Dios, las personas con que he trabajado, que han sido mis jefes, han sido muy buenas personas. Me han ayudado mucho y he aprendido mucho de ellos. En general siempre han sido vietnamitas, y antes de hacer mi propia compañía, los americanos. Siempre hay personas buenas en este mundo. Entonces nosotros empezamos a limpiar. Doy gracias a Dios que este señor que ya falleció, Mr. Thomas, me dejó una cuenta. Yo limpiaba para él. Y me deja una cuenta en Chantilly, o una oficina. Y así empezamos. Le doy gracias a Dios por él, que se lo puso en mi camino, porque me dejó todo lo que es el equipamiento, el vacuum, todas esas cositas que es una erogación de dinero que quizás cuando uno empieza una compañía no lo ve, empieza con lo mínimo. Entonces, desde ahí es que yo, sin saber nada de limpieza, empecé a hacer. O sea, tuve la predisposición, las ganas de aprender, y ahí fui autodidacta en este trabajo. Y así fui sacándolo, tropezando, empezando a un trabajo aquí, otro trabajo allá, hasta que por una situación de emergencia, digamos, de nuestra situación económica en la familia, decido o me voy a trabajar en un restaurante. Yo no sé, en Arlington. Yo no sabía nada, sí, algo porque mis padres tenían en Bolivia un restaurante, digamos, familiar, pero no era la misma envergadura de lo que son los negocios aquí o lo que es todo un restaurante en todo el mundo. Pero bueno, entré como busboy. Y con el tiempo fui observando en el local cómo estaba el servicio de limpieza y me animé y le dije al dueño que tengo, porque cuando yo empecé, lo primero que hice fue sacar el permiso del condado de Fairfax para tener la compañía. Entonces yo le dije a él, mira, tengo mi compañía, tengo licencia, estoy pagando mis impuestos y quiero ofrecer mis servicios. Él, como ya me conocía, me dice, ok, Víctor, empezamos el próximo mes. Y así fue. Trabajaba en el mismo restaurante como busboy y a su vez ya tenía el servicio de limpieza. Sinceramente, les soy honesto, $700 que ganaba de mi compañía para mí, sin hacer nada, era lo mejor.
Pero explica por qué sin hacer nada.
O sea, yo no hacía nada porque tenía personas que ya estaban trabajando con nosotros, ¿no? Personas hispanas, y empezamos a trabajar con ellos. Entonces mi ganancia era así. Digo, bueno, estaba cómodo con ese dinerito. Así fue que al año o al tiempo, 2 años, esta misma compañía abre 2 restaurantes más, 3 restaurantes más, uno atrás del otro. Entonces, ellos me dicen, Víctor, ¿quieres limpiar los restaurantes? Sí, ¿cómo no? Le digo, allá vamos. Y ahí fue, empezar a buscar gente que venga a trabajar. Gracias a Dios encontré una señora excelente, que ella fue la que nos colaboró a conseguir bastante personal y empezar así a trabajar. Y ahí fue, aprendiendo sobre la marcha, a lo que venga, ya sabiendo un poquito, bueno, por aquí hay que limpiar así, observando dónde estaba sucio, dónde había que hacerle los detalles. Y siempre atento, haciendo la extra milla. ¿Qué quiero decir con esto? Que más allá de lo que yo tenía que hacer del trabajo, siempre le ofrecía al cliente, te hago esto, lo hacemos así. Entonces ellos lo aceptaban. Y así fue que ya van a ser más de ¿y cuántos años que trabajamos con ellos?
Desde el 8.
Bueno, desde el
Desde el 8.
2008 que estamos trabajando con ellos hasta ahora.
14 años.
Y de ahí es que ya se vinieron las referencias. Nosotros no hemos necesitado de las redes sociales, del Facebook de esa época, de todo lo que venía, no existía. Solamente era las referencias, puras referencias. Así fue que un día un muchacho, un americano que trabajaba ahí en el bar, en uno de los restaurantes, me dice, oye Víctor, aquí viene un cliente y está buscando un servicio de limpieza para limpiar un CrossFit ahí en Arlington. Fuimos, aceptamos y de ahí vinieron otros CrossFit más. Y así fue creciendo la compañía. Pero todo ha sido por referencias. Creemos que lo que nos ha ayudado, yo no quiero hacer a un lado todo lo que ha hablado la señora Lourdes Morales, porque yo también necesito de alguna manera ahora con este tiempo nuevo que está la tecnología avanzando, necesitaríamos de unos consejos de ella. Pero en sí, en base a la experiencia, lo que más importa en un negocio es la responsabilidad, la honestidad y la humildad. Eso es lo más importante, ¿sí? No porque uno tenga un trabajo de decir, oh, me subí a las nubes y yo voy a mirar así a todos. Y eso yo lo aprendí casualmente de el señor Steve Fedorchak y su hermano Mark Fedorchak. Ellos son, perdonen por la publicidad, no sé si está permitido, pero ellos son los dueños de los restaurantes. Ustedes lo han escuchado, que viven mucho en Arlington. El Liberty Tavern, Lion Hall, Northside Social Cafetería, ellos son los dueños. ¿Qué es lo que aprendí de estas personas? especialmente de Steve, una persona que no necesitaba estar ahí las 24 horas de su negocio. ¿Para qué? Para eso pagaba. Pagaba un manager, pagaba los cocineros, el chef, que ellos son los que deberían trabajar, pero él no lo necesitaba. Pero él, ¿qué es lo que hacía? Él iba, trabajaba, llevaba los platos de la comida, atendía al cliente, agarraba la escoba, barría. Cuando en el 2000 y algo fue una fuerte nevada, este restaurante, el Liberty Tavern, fue el único restaurante que abrió en el área de Clarendon. Que la nieve fue impresionante. Y lo que a mí me llegó fue que este señor, dueño de la compañía, agarró la pala y él estaba sacando la nieve. Entonces, eso es lo que ustedes, pienso yo, un consejo, es que si ustedes ponen su negocio, ustedes háganlo. Aquel que opte por un restaurante, vaya, limpie ese restaurante, limpie el baño. Si quiere, levántese en la madrugada y limpie la acera. Aquel que tiene construcción, vaya, agarre un martillo, úselo, pero que suden, que vean que su mano está, porque es un ejemplo. Pero eso no es tanto por lo que uno vaya a aprender aquí siendo americano. Eso yo creo que nosotros los hispanos lo llevamos en la sangre. Que somos personas que no le tenemos miedo al trabajo. Ahí tenemos en varias partes personas que se las buscan y que ya están haciendo su comida y venden. Nuestros padres, a ustedes mismos jóvenes les estoy hablando, ustedes saben cómo es ello. La buscan. Entonces eso es lo que ustedes sáquenlo porque lo tienen adentro. Es bonito seguir el sistema y es que tiene que ser así. Seguir el sistema americano porque están bien. Pero combinen su herencia con este nuevo que vive, este nuevo país que están viviendo. Júntenlo, porque tienen mucho por delante. No le tengan miedo. Nosotros, cuando empezamos, no tenemos, hasta ahora, no tenemos, somos indocumentados, ¿sí? Pero hemos tratado de tener todas las cosas del negocio en reglas. Tenemos el ITIN number, no, ahora ya es el EIN, somos un LLC, pagamos los impuestos como debe ser, tenemos worker compensation, el seguro, todo lo que nos, los requerimientos para una compañía. O sea, se puede. Todo se puede. Así que, por favor, échenle ganas. Hay una cámara que no está apropiada, me parece. Sorry.
Yo te puedo
Entonces,
ver.
ya, entonces, yo les pido que no pierdan esa identidad que tienen ustedes. Una anécdota, hace unas 2 semanas, más o menos una semana, yo estaba haciendo un trabajo en McLean y en mi hora de almuerzo, voy a comer ahí a un lugar y habían 2 personas conversando, un americano, ya un señor de edad, digamos, y un joven hindú. Se notaba que era de la India bien. Sabemos nosotros que esas personas son bien preparadas en lo que es tecnología. Por lo que yo suponía era de que era como una entrevista de trabajo. En una de esas es como que el señor americano le pregunta al chico, al hindú, ¿qué lenguajes él sabía? ¿El Spanish? Entonces él le dice, no sé Spanish. Fue como yo así de reojo de vista le vi al muchacho y él se sintió como incómodo, ¿no? Por la pregunta. Entonces él le dice, no sé español, pero estoy tratando de estudiarlo. Y yo creo que me di cuenta que el señor americano se dio cuenta que yo estaba al lado de ellos, bajó un poco su voz, como diciéndole como que yo escuché Sudamérica, como que su negocio estaba con miras hacia el mercado sudamericano. ¿Cuál es mi punto? Que ustedes no pierdan en el español. Hubiese sido interesante que esto que estamos haciendo en este momento se hable en español también. Yo los respeto por el inglés, perfecto. Pero ustedes tienen un arma muy fuerte que es el español. Se necesita. Si ustedes van a hacer un trabajo que sea tecnología, que sea un restaurante, si ustedes saben otro idioma, al menos el español, nuestro idioma, ustedes van a tener contentos a los clientes, porque muchos clientes saben algo de español, hasta los mismos trabajadores. El comunicarse con los trabajadores, con la gente que va a trabajar para ustedes, si tienen un restaurante, por ejemplo, si ustedes tienen sabemos que mucha de nuestra gente viene a trabajar y no sabe nada del inglés, lo que es un dishwasher, lo que es las personas que están en preparación, o un busboy. Entonces, el comunicarse con ellos así, los hace sentir tenidos en cuenta. No los hace como ciudadanos de segunda. Y eso es importante. ¿Por qué? Porque ellos se sienten a gusto y trabajan a gusto. Por eso, por favor, no pierdan el español. No se dice español, se dice castellano. Ese es el nombre correcto para expresarnos el idioma que hablamos. Es castellano. Háblenlo. Si muchos de ustedes en este momento no lo... y es entendible porque ustedes han nacido aquí y su lengua, digamos, su idioma es el inglés. Perfecto. Pero no lo pierdan. Porque ustedes van a ver que eso les va a abrir también muchas puertas. ¿Sí? Entonces, esa es nuestra experiencia. No tenemos Facebook, no tenemos TikTok para promocionar nuestra compañía, pero tenemos, yo creo que es el tema de de cómo somos en el trabajo nosotros. La honestidad, la humildad, siempre lleven adelante eso, la humildad. Por favor, ¿ya? Y eso les va a dar bastante, les va a abrir bastante las puertas. No se olviden de eso, ¿ya? Se puede hacer. Gracias a la señora Lourdes por toda esa explicación, ¿ok? Creo que la vamos a necesitar nosotros también algún día.
Oh,
Por favor.
qué bello. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
No, de nada, un placer.
Yeah.
Bueno.
Lo dijiste todo. Muchas gracias.
Yeah, that was
No,
perfect.
no.
No, I can't think of anything else. Like are there any questions from the audience about, like if there's like a specific thing, like if they've been, that you can think to ask our guests, whether it's Lourdes or, man, I lost his name.
Víctor soy yo.
Victor, Analia, my dad is probably out there somewhere, but he's shy. Just gonna roast him in front of all of you. If there's any questions that you want to ask, they are here. Carmelo, do you have any questions? No.
Sí, yo.
Oh, Cecilia.
Yes, sí. Yo quiero agradecerles a los papás las magníficas palabras que dijiste, Víctor. Gracias, Analia. Gracias, Jacqueline. Muchas gracias, Lourdes, también por participar y por ofrecerte dar a los padres una sesión en español. Claro que tomamos, sí. Ya hablamos al respecto y me voy a comunicar contigo. Y sí, no tengo preguntas, pero un abrazo grande para ustedes, papás, Lourdes, Jane, Kim. Gracias.
A mí me gusta preguntar.
Yo tengo una pregunta.
No. No,
Oh, Analia, ¿tienes pregunta?
Sí, sí,
Oh,
para
excelente.
Lourdes.
Oh, para Lourdes.
Acerca de los contratos con el gobierno.
Ujú.
Nosotros, por ejemplo, siempre hemos querido trabajar con el gobierno. Sabemos que lo principal no tenemos, que es el social. Pero, por ejemplo, no es lo mismo limpiar una escuela que limpiar Langley, ¿no es cierto? ¿Serán los mismos requisitos? ¿O cómo se iniciaría una cosa así?
Usualmente para contratos con gobierno o más grandes depende de la entidad con las que van a trabajar, porque cada entidad es distinta con los requisitos y cómo hacen el proceso. Aunque usualmente se van a licitación, responden al contrato. Usualmente hay ciertas oficinas que tienen departamentos que trabajan con pequeños negocios. Entonces ellos tienen distintas reuniones en donde convocan a personas que trabajan con pequeños negocios para explicarles cuáles son las oportunidades que van a haber, cuáles son los requisitos que piden, etcétera. Entonces, mucho va a depender con qué entidades ustedes quieren trabajar. Otra de las...
Oh, perdón.
Sí, no. Algo que sí funciona también, no en todos los casos, porque de nuevo, esto depende de entidad a entidad, pero las certificaciones que yo mencioné de último, por ejemplo, aquí en Virginia está el Small Women and Minority. Eso no les va a garantizar a todas las personas que porque yo soy SWAM Certified, alguien me va a dar un contrato. Sin embargo, para todas estas entidades, estoy hablando utópicamente, pero por ejemplo, va a venir el Pentágono y dice, el 10% de las compañías que contratemos tienen que ser minorías. Entonces ahí es donde ustedes dicen, entonces ustedes, lo que hablé al principio de cómo diferenciarse, esa es una pieza de marketing que se hace de distinta forma.
Nosotros estamos registrados como minoridad, como mujer y como latino.
Excelente, porque entonces hay que ir viendo también si en caso hay ciertas entidades que tienen prioridad o tienen un porcentaje que no todas la tienen que tener. Incluso a nivel estatal, a veces también hay oportunidades a nivel estatal en donde ustedes pueden empezar y después ya se van a nivel federal.
O local, las escuelas del condado de Fairfax, por ejemplo. ¿Algún link que nos puedas recomendar?
¿Ustedes están en Fairfax o en Arlington?
Fairfax.
Yo soy Arlington, pero...
Nos vamos a Arlington, no hay problema.
Exacto.
Allá vamos.
Nos podríamos registrar en Arlington.
Claro, no, pero otra cosa, yo mencioné a Chris Lay, está al final de mi presentación, o si me mandan un email. Ella, por ejemplo, a nivel estatal, ella se puede sentar con ustedes y ustedes reciben emails automáticos del sistema Electronic Virginia. Ustedes no sé si están en ese sistema.
De Arlington, yo recibo información de Arlington.
Electronic Virginia es el portal electrónico a nivel de Virginia con oportunidades a nivel estatal. Entonces, por ejemplo, Arlington, yo voy a decir esto de nuevo, nosotros en Economic Development necesitamos comprar 5,000 escritorios o necesitamos hacer catering para el picnic de empleados, 2,000, 3,000 almuerzos. Todo eso no lo podemos decir, hey, Analia, páseme una cotización, sino que de 5,000 para arriba se tiene que ir a licitación. Sí. Y entonces, exacto, y eso lo metemos al portal y ya depende del NICS code que cada compañía tiene, ya a ustedes les va a llegar una notificación, hey, Arlington tiene esta oportunidad, Fairfax tiene esta oportunidad y ustedes ya diseñan su oferta.
Eso es lo que siempre hemos buscado.
Esa a nivel estatal se llama IVA, Electronic Virginia. Si ustedes lo buscan, ellos tienen distintas tutoriales en línea en donde les explican qué es y es de registrar la información, etcétera. Pero también Chris Lay, que trabaja con el Virginia Department of Small Business and Supplier Diversity, ella ve el norte de Virginia, entonces ustedes no tienen que estar en Arlington para hablar con ella, es gratuito, porque también hay que verificar, y yo sé que a veces hablo, pero solo hay que verificar qué NICS code ustedes tienen en el sistema, porque a veces las personas no, o a veces hay que ampliarlo un poco más, entonces preguntarle a Chris, hey, tenemos estos NICS codes, ¿hay alguno más que ustedes sugieran?
Ok.
Entonces, si me mandan un email, yo con gusto les mando el hyperlink para Electronic Virginia y para preguntarle a ella. Ahora a nivel federal están todas las otras, ya hay que registrarse con SAM y hay otro tipo de procedimientos, de requisitos y depende más de la entidad con la que ustedes trabajen. Y clave tener quién les va a elaborar las propuestas o si ustedes las van a hacer para que ustedes cuando respondan a esa licitación estén incluyendo toda la información que les piden y no dejarlos afuera.
Sí,
Yo de hecho,
una vez nos han dado, eran unas fotocopias así, un alto de fotocopias así, y había preguntas tricky que no sabíamos qué contestar.
ahí es donde a veces la asesoría de alguien que hace eso, o sea, yo he tenido hay alguien que me hizo un webinar y yo hice un webinar que se llama Cómo escribir propuestas exitosas y ese es el trabajo de ellos, escribir a esas propuestas. Yo no quiero decir que la contraten a ella específicamente, pero
Claro.
puede ser, o sea, ustedes ven el webinar, eso está en nuestra página web de cómo escribir las propuestas exitosas, pero a veces ahí es donde el costo de oportunidad, si yo voy a poner esa propuesta, le pago a un profesional que lo haga, que es quien lo hace todo el tiempo y nosotros le proveemos toda la información o lo hacemos nosotros. Depende de la complejidad del proyecto que están aplicando.
Claro, claro. Muchas gracias.
Pero y no, con gusto. Y no hay que olvidarse de buscar, hay ciertas entidades de nuevo que ellos hacen como estas reuniones X veces al año, en donde juntan a todos los pequeños negocios y les explican qué es lo que van a necesitar. Pero esos ya son las organizaciones a nivel federal. Hay uno de los, y esto es lo último, hay uno de los mentores de SCORE, él se llama Jerry Sands. Él ha asesorado a diversos clientes que yo he tenido de forma gratuita con respecto a contrataciones con el gobierno. También como mentor. Entonces, buscar todos los recursos que tengan para navegar eso.
Gracias, gracias,
Gracias.
Lourdes.
Hey, I kind of have to go, which I really hate because this is like so incredible. Like the energy is incredible. Thank you so much for your vulnerability, Víctor y Analia. Gracias por estar aquí y ser humilde y honestos con nosotros, porque es difícil y nos dan alto miedo, pero es importante oír sus voces, sus experiencias para nosotros también.
Yo le diría, no tengan miedo. No tengan miedo. Si sus padres cruzaron el Río Grande, si sus padres dejaron toda la familia y están aquí y lo han hecho por ustedes,
La zona segura.
y les están dando en un lugar que tiene muchas, pero muchas oportunidades, no le tengan miedo. Se van a caer muchas veces, van a tropezar muchas veces, pero se van a saber levantar. Ahí está la señora Lourdes con sus buenos consejos.
Los recursos están.
Están los recursos y están el mejor consejo que les puede dar son los padres. Y ustedes mismos los han visto. Ustedes mismos han visto cuando han sido niños, viendo a sus papás aquí, cómo trabajaban, qué es lo que hacían. Quizás muchas veces no había la unidad familiar, no entendemos eso. Pero todo lo que han hecho los padres ha sido porque aquí es el país de las oportunidades. Y ustedes los pueden. ¿Ok? Gracias por...
Señora Lourdes,
Gracias.
señora Lourdes. Una pregunta, yo sé que es tarde ya. Mi nombre es Rosemary.
Oh,
No
hola
sé-
Rosemary.
Una pregunta, yo quiero sacar la licencia para cuidado. No sé si sabe sobre ese rubro, digamos, ¿no? Cuidado de niños en la casa.
¿En qué jurisdicción está?
Estoy en Fairfax.
En Fairfax también. Eso depende a nivel local y la razón no es que Lourdes no quiera contestar, sino que cada jurisdicción tiene sus propias regulaciones, como lo expliqué. Y cada va a estar regulado a nivel local. Aquí en Arlington, y yo trabajo para Arlington Economic Development, entonces en Arlington usted puede tener, sí lo puede hacer en casa, va a estar regulado por Child Care Services, la oficina de Child Care Services.
Sí, o sea, yo ya tengo el permiso, pero quiero sacar la licencia. Y mi pregunta también es, o sea, ¿es aconsejable que yo abra una cuenta directamente para el negocio? ¿O está bien que yo lo vincule con mi cuenta personal?
Excelente pregunta, gracias por hacerla. No, tiene que tener una cuenta para su negocio. Incluso si usted es un sole proprietor, acostúmbrense a tener lo del negocio es lo del negocio y lo suyo personal lo de lo personal. Porque aunque usted tenga una entidad legal, una LLC, una corporación donde yo expliqué que eso es importante para separar lo personal de lo del negocio, aunque usted lo tenga, pero si hace esa mezcla de gastos, si yo voy a comprar algo personal con la tarjeta del negocio y luego viceversa, si usualmente, bueno, yo no soy abogada, tengo que decir eso, esto no es un consejo legal, pero si alguien viene y le pone una demanda a usted, a su negocio, por algo que pasó, usted es responsable, se mezclan las dos, porque usted estuvo mezclando lo personal con lo del negocio. Entonces, aunque usted tenga una entidad legal, pero si usted hizo eso con sus tarjetas, viene la demanda y dicen, bueno, usted está usando todo lo del negocio con lo personal, está mezclando todo, entonces ahora es liable o tiene el riesgo para ambas. Entonces, súper aconsejable desde el principio abra una cuenta para su negocio.
Ok, gracias.
Sí, no, con gusto. Y sí se puede tener daycares en la casa, definitivamente, en todas las jurisdicciones. Solo es que se asegure del número máximo y de nuevo las inspecciones y todo eso va a ir a nivel estatal.
Ok.
Aquí en Extended Daycare, o sea, puede tener hasta 12 niños.
Pero eso es con la licencia, ¿no es cierto?
Sí, con la licencia.
Ok, gracias.
Con gusto.
Mommy. Oh, well, I think, oh my gosh, perfect. I think that wraps it up. Thank you so much. This was such a fantastic summer summit. And I'm so grateful for all of you coming out. It's on a random, day of the week. Yes, big boy. Carmelo, we're about to say goodbye. Do you want to say bye-bye?
No.